And I used to say jokingly all the time, it's all about the pussy.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Here.
Double record.
All right. Why are we sitting in front of a camera on the same side of the table? Have we fallen madly in love and we can't even sit on the opposite sides of the table anymore?
I was getting too
Stay
excited.
tuned.
Glaring into your eyes all that time. Gazing.
My eyes were just too intimidating. We had to sit on the same side of the table.
We did.
It's awkward. I don't like this. What? His mic. Jesus Christ! Fucking amateurs.
It seems so wiggly.
This is like when you were in high school and your female date or your male date, your date made you sit on the same side of the table. What the?
And slowly hold hands as the day goes on.
Well,
your hand would just get a little closer and then a little closer.
What, like this?
And then
like this?
just close. Ooh, hey.
Hi. All right. Anyway. Oh, do we have it? Yeah, we have drinks out. We have drinks out.
We got drinks out. Let's
We gotta pour some pink pussies. No.
Wow. How many times are you gonna say that?
Pink pussies. We gotta pour. Oh, probably too many. I've already said it too many. So that doesn't look like a pink bunny.
Hey, what can we do to make this pinker?
Okay, motherfuckers. Concentrated pink lemonade is different than the lemonade you get in a jug. How am I supposed to know this?
You mean from the recipe that says?
Beard looks a little shaggy. No, how am I supposed to know that there's any difference? 12 ounces of this lemonade or 12 ounces of that lemonade. I just thought it was basically what this is that you buy in the fucking box is the same thing. It's the frozen thing already fucking mixed up with water.
Right, so the concentrate's no water.
No, it's what you do here when you put that pink shit in a can and put water in it.
Okay, so but I'm saying is when we make that drink, we're putting the can in, not the water to mix it. We're not mixing the pink lemonade and adding it. You're literally just putting the concentrate in and the tonic water.
Shit, it's starting to make sense all of a sudden.
Ah, ding ding ding.
All right, I got it.
So this is 12 ounces diluted. That's why we put more gin.
Oh, okay.
The water from the tonic water is the...
Okay. All right.
See what I got to put up with? Pink pussies.
Pink.
God damn. That's really not what we're trying to say. Pink
pussies.
Bunnies. In honor of our guest. So we're going to get this before we get zoomed to our guest.
Wait, oh yeah, we're going to drink this and rate this?
Pink bunnies.
Pink bunnies. Cheers.
6 ounces of gin.
Oh, Jesus.
1 can, 12-ounce can of concentrated pink lemonade premix. Don't mix it. 12 ounces of tonic water. Blend it together and boom, pink bunny.
It's delicious, and you know why?
No, why?
That delicious pink lemonade I can taste. I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's probably better than it would have been if we did it the right way.
Doesn't taste like a drink at all.
Well, we've got 64 ounces, 68 ounces or something to drink.
Nonsense. All right, so.
What do you... Oh, there's the gin. There's the gin.
Somebody's trying to take advantage of me. What's that?
We're just going to put this in a glass of ice.
I feel like I'm...
When the drink is on. So, what do you think? What do you give it?
Well, I feel like I'm being really, really pressured into drinking a lot right now, and I'm wondering why. Because I think it's...
Anal rape.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've mistaken it for a pink pussy, and... I know you well enough to know as soon as you say pink pussy, the night is over. Pink pussy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what do I think of this?
Don't you worry about it.
I won't.
What do you think about the pink bunny drink?
It's not as good as the pink pussy.
Because that has a can of concentrate frozen lemonade.
Wow. Wow. I don't think so.
No?
I don't know. Is that a thing?
Yeah. Come back to when we do our fetish
I'm gonna
class. Or
I'm gonna go straight 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, it's just right bland in the middle for me. I mean it. Oh, I forgot we added 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.12.
It is it's a little
My hair is terrible.
watered down ish.
Yeah.
So what we should have done is not put the cut the tonic water back is what we should have done.
Oops. I don't.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. I'm kind of. Well, yeah. I was kind of already.
I'm gonna give it a 3-2.
Probably a little overhyped for this interview and a little.
So you were thinking elsewhere. Oh. You were thinking with your other head.
No. I mean, no.
Well,
I was just a little nervous. Not thinking.
he's nervous. We are.
I mean, it's. I mean, we should be used to it. We're only 12 episodes in, and for 2 of them, we've had big celebrities. I mean,
right here are the 2 celebrities.
I wasn't talking about you. No, I was not talking about us.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, we shouldn't have to worry about that.
Nope.
No.
It's only going up. They're getting bigger and bigger.
Well, yeah.
And then when they get too big, we got to be like, all right, bring it back down to earth. It's just going to be us.
Oh, okay.
Like our next interview. Cute as fuck? Is that what you're about to say? We look...
Just both rocking our own gear. Pimping. Big ballers.
Shit t-shirt company.
AlliedShirts.com. Fuck you.
Excellent t-shirt company.
I got a lot of compliments on this shirt today at work.
There you go. Mike Schultz, thank you very much. Wisco. Laser Engrave. Check them out for all your engraving needs.
Tell them we sent you.
Tell them you sent you. You get a...
Nothing.
Attaboy.
You get nothing. You get...
I
sorry.
might get an attaboy.
You get a... Oh, sorry. You had to listen to that crap just to get...
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
So I say we wrap her up because we got a big guest coming on. We got to get ready for it. Zoom meeting with...
You know what I got to do?
Got poop?
I probably got to take a shit and redo my hair.
Well, I'll start the interview. When you're done, come out and let me know.
Yeah. No, that would be if it were you. I can... What time is it? 10-2. Oh, I could shit and do my hair and be back out here with 5 to spare. And on
Fair
that
enough.
note...
For that note, that's all we got.
I don't know what I don't know how you're supposed to end the video ones. It feels a little more...
Pause it? Well, we got to end it because we got a Zoom call in.
I know, but I'm like, how do you... We're done. I mean, we're not done, I guess. We're coming
We're
back.
not done. We're getting going.
Okay, we're coming back. Well, not for you. See, I know things. I remember things. Not only your favorite Christmas movie.
Yep.
Your favorite movie.
That's the best movie.
I prefer more something like Natural Born Killer. It speaks more my language.
Yeah, all right. I don't know any human being should be drinking this much gin at one time. But
I don't either. There's a good chance I will not remember this night.
It'll make good for the next podcast.
Yeah. There's just a real good chance I will not remember tomorrow morning. Okay. Well, we got the audio going. We're back on audio. So any dumb thing you say can and you will be used against you in a court of law at this point. But
Well, I better watch it. Better watch watch yourself.
I'll start up the... I want to start up the meeting. Oh, it's 5-2. I'm going to start up the meeting because they have the waiting room there. I think I put the waiting room thing on. So we'll have to let her in, I think. Our guest is in the waiting room.
Is she?
Yeah.
Thought she'd be on time.
She's on time. So
This is awesome. Welcome, everyone.
she's not here yet, though. I have to admit her into the room. So we're just speaking to
Keep
each
the
other.
lady waiting.
I was just making sure you're ready.
I was born ready.
I was born ready. Well, hello there. Oh, she's connecting.
and can't hear you yet. She said
That's a beautiful picture she put up.
it is. It is.
Hello.
Well, hello.
Hello, hello.
How are ya?
Test, test, test.
I can hear you.
Yes, and
You hear me?
Got you clear.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Hi.
the both of us, good?
Friday night.
Friday.
It's a Friday night. We're hanging out with you. This is amazing.
So you must be Dimples and you're the dude.
First try. Nailed it.
You
Nailed
got it.
I know. I should have shaved it off for.
I see I am smart.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my God.
All right. So
There we go.
are we good to go? Well,
Yeah. How have you been? How's your day going?
Really good. Busy.
Oh yeah.
But really good, you know. Yeah.
yeah. I see
I like
you.
being busy.
I see you've got a
Yes.
lot of stuff going on social media with the release of the release of the website.
Yeah, so the website launched this week.
Oh, okay.
It's about 90% there. There's a few hiccups, as always. You
Sure,
know,
yeah.
I expected that. And then last minute, I decided to add a blog feature.
Oh,
And I'm calling it Deb's Den.
Okay.
And I'm going to write a blog once a week on there. And it's funny because the guys that run my stuff, they're like, well, we don't want to add that until you have at least 3. I've already sent them 5.
and that was yesterday.
Just add it. I'm going to write one every day.
Yeah.
We'll release one once a week
Sure.
so that I want to be able to interact with people and have them. And then when I post a blog, I can post it on social media and get feedback.
Sure.
And then when I get the feedback, that'll help me organically come up with the next blog, right? Because people are going to talk about certain things, and then I can have ideas for the next blog. So
And you're gonna just talk about whatever you want.
I can. That's 10 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's been really busy. So, and I'm not a writer by trade.
Okay.
And so for me, it's really going out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right?
But are you enjoying it?
Very much so.
Okay. Get to express
Yeah.
all your thoughts
Well,
and
very
whatever
much
you
so.
want.
And I just figured, you know what, I'm going to do it. And if it blows up, it blows up. Whatever, you know. At least I can say I did it.
Right.
That's
yeah,
true.
Exactly.
So it's Deborah's.
This is everything that I speak about, so I kind of have to walk my talk.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So what exactly is the
Where
website?
are you guys located?
We're in Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Betcha.
Yeah. There you go. We're about 45 minutes away from Green Bay.
No,
But it's a little bit different accent.
Yeah, we don't got that. Yeah, we don't have that one.
No, it's hard, you know, that Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Sure.
And, you know, there's all these little accents.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they're really hard to do.
They.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Wisconsin is like a very specific gab, you know.
It does.
I can't explain it, but
Yep.
there's things that you guys say that make you from Wisconsin.
Absolutely. Like just talking about
I'm
cheese.
Totally stoked, dude. We're from California. Okay, we got it.
We
Yeah.
know. Have you
Yeah.
ever been to Wisconsin?
I have not.
Okay.
All right.
What's the big city there?
Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee's the biggest.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Meisel. What's that from? Laverne?
Yeah, Laverne and Shirley.
There you go.
Yep. Something like that. Yeah.
Incorporated.
Yeah. All right.
Both Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley were based in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Happy Days
Oh,
was
yeah,
too.
that's right.
Yep. And then,
Marshall, gotta love him.
so why don't you tell us what your website is coming up? What's the name of the website? Is it just you?
Deborah Driggs.
Yep. Just her name.
That's just it? Oh, okay.
DeborahDriggs.com. I keep it really simple.
I'm like, some cute name, but no, okay, it's cute enough.
Perfect.
That's Jen.
So let's start at the beginning of your story, I guess. I know when you were a kid, I've read about the ice skating, and how consistent you were with that.
Yeah, so yes, I started out figure skating. I actually grew up thinking I was going to be an athlete. I thought for
Okay.
sure I was going to be that was going to be my career. And if I if I wasn't successful in competition, then back then you had the Ice Follies, Holiday on Ice,
Sure.
Yeah.
Ice Capades. There were all these different ice shows in the 70s that were huge. And so I thought, well, if all else fails, I'll join the Ice Capades. And that was kind of a competitive ice skater's mentality. It was like, if you didn't make it, if you didn't succeed in competition or going to the Olympics or whatever, then you'd end up doing the Ice Capades.
Oh, sure.
Like as if that was a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
The Ice Capades were phenomenal.
They were. Went to many of them.
But that was kind of the inside joke, and so I kind of had that in the back of my mind that ice skating was just always going to be a part of my life.
Sure.
And then when I turned 14, my parents got divorced, and that was the first time in my life that I really realized that we had no money. That we were poor.
Sure.
And because, it came to my attention that my mother was paying for all of my ice skating. It was her whole paycheck that was paying for it. And so when they got divorced, she didn't have the money to support the ice skating. And so she didn't want me to quit. We were trying to figure out how I could do it, but I emotionally fell apart when my parents got divorced. And ice skating was so much pressure already. So to have the pressure from the ice skating, the emotional...
something's got to give.
Stability from a divorce, everything just fell apart at 14. Like, I remember, like, that age to me is almost like a trigger. If somebody says the number 14, I'm like, oh, it's like a trigger,
Sure.
Because 14 was such a rock bottom age for me. It was like, you're 8th grade, it's an awkward age, you're leaving grade school, you're going to high school. I was already a little bit socially awkward because I spent all my time on the ice. And I didn't have a lot of friends. And so now I'm graduating grade school and I don't have any friends. I don't know where I'm going to high school. I'm not skating anymore. And everything was a huge change.
Okay.
It wasn't just one change. It
Sure.
was like,
That's...
let's just give her the whole enchilada.
Right. Yeah.
Keep adding, it's like keep adding all these Post-it notes on my body type thing, it's like divorce, no more ice skating, insecurity, it's like
teenage stuff.
Yeah, it was like huge stuff. And I had this, I learned very quickly to have that mechanism of like, just push it down, stiff upper lip. I grew up with 2 Brits. My mother was born in England.
Oh, wow.
Her mother was British. And they were, the stiff upper lip. You didn't show your emotions. It was like, you're a crybaby. I mean, all those things so I just learned to just stuff it down and act as if everything was okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And I did that for many years, for a long time, actually. And so I just always looked like I had it all together. And I didn't, And so, so that was it, 14. And then my mom kind of, they got married really young, my parents.
Okay.
19 and 22.
Oh, wow.
So now they get divorced and they both go crazy. It's like there are these 2 single...
Make up for what they missed?
People, and they're smoking pot, and they're drinking, and there's parties, and there's disco, and the whole world is upside down in my life. My whole world is upside down. And so I just saw these 2 adults acting like complete children. Like all of a sudden I became the adult very fast.
Now, you had siblings?
I do. I have a younger sister. We're 7 years apart. So we were in different stages. Like I, at 14, going through a divorce, and she was 7 going through the divorce. And it's like they're 2 different.
Yeah.
We have our experiences are very different. And we didn't really hang out too much at that age because I was going into high school and she was little.
Yeah.
She was in 2nd grade.
Sure.
So we were, but when we were little, like when I was 7 and she was little, or when I was 10 and she was 3 or 4, we actually played a lot together and, hung out. And she would go skating with me all the time. And she skated also and took lessons. She just wasn't as into it, like I was. But I have a younger sister, just the 2 of us. And it's funny because we took a DNA test I think like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Because she was convinced that we had different fathers. We're very different, and so but we have the same father.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's that funny, Sybil's do that. They think, you can't be my
It's
brother.
like,
You're
yeah,
right.
and now you're on there. Now I'm just waiting for the bomb to come, like what other siblings might I have out there, Who knows what my dad was doing, so I'm sure I'll get that notice at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So how did you fill the void of when you lost skating? Because it seems like it was something we were very passionate about.
Yeah, that was my life. And, the day I put my feet on the ice, I think I was 5 years old. And I got invited to a birthday party. And so I get there and I put the skates on. And, the rental skates are horrible.
Right.
But for some reason, I got on the ice and it was like everything about it, I was home. Like I begged. I went home that night so filled with like, this is what I want to do. It was so obvious to me. And I begged my mom for ice skating lessons. So she put me in group lessons and I flew through that. And then I was like, I want to coach. I want my own coach. I want to take private lessons. I begged and begged. And next thing you knew, I was skating before school and after school and on the weekends.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a real bummer, because that was my life. To have it stop at 14 was, I didn't know what my identity was. Talk about, when you're growing up, you kind of have a sense of who you are and what your identity is. And for me, that was my identity. And when you took it away, I didn't know what was I going to be now. And so, I struggled a lot with that.
Okay.
It was really sad. And I didn't have, nobody around me had the tools. I know this now, but at the time it just felt like nobody cared.
Yeah.
But nobody had the tools to say, God, that must be really tough what you're going through.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, move on, And so that's what I did, really. And so I got to high school. I had to go live with my dad. And I didn't really have a relationship with my dad because he was never around. And now my mom is broke, living with her brother, and I had nowhere to live. And I didn't know where I was going to go to high school. So my dad stepped in and kind of set me up in an apartment, so to speak, in high school. Because he was never around. He worked twilight shift, and then he'd go out and he had his own life.
Sure.
So I kind of lived by myself.
Oh, okay.
And grew up really quick.
You do grow up fast, don't you, when you have to fend for yourself?
Oh, yeah. So I realized really early on that he was not going to be a provider. He was not going to be a parent. I couldn't ask him for anything, so I just got a job.
Okay.
And started working really at a young age and making money so I could buy clothes and school supplies and whatever I needed.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's so much pressure. And,
How long did you carry that pressure around with you?
I worked all through high school. I barely graduated high school because I found that I enjoyed working more than I did going to school. And I liked the feeling of having money all the time. And I also, I bought my car when I turned 16. I bought a used Datsun. It didn't even have carpet or whatever. It was just a big...
Typical teen first car.
Yeah, right?
A piece of junk, car that I bought for $1,500. But I bought it, and guess what? I drove that car until I totaled it when I was a senior.
Oh.
But, those were the things that I did. I wanted a car, so I worked. I wanted clothes, so I worked. And when I was 18, I turned 18 my senior year.
Okay.
I barely went to school because I knew I had to go to work at 2:00 in the afternoon. I worked at a drugstore. And so my hours were 2 after school until closing. So it was kind of full time.
Okay.
And so because of that, I would go surfing in the morning and maybe go to a couple classes. So my senior year
fun ones.
caught up with me.
Sounds a lot like my senior year.
Yeah, caught up with me because now they're telling me you can't graduate. And I was like, what do you mean I can't graduate? Well, you don't go to school. You have to go to school to graduate. And so the one teacher that was kind of holding me back I never went to his class. And so I went and talked to him, and I said, hey, could you just give me a D- so I don't have to come back?
You don't have to deal with me
Like,
anymore.
I've never been to this class. How can I give you a D-? You're a fail. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? Give me a project, I'll do it, and then give me a D-. And so he did. He gave me a project. I went, I did it, I turned it in, he gave me a D-. I mean, I should have never graduated high school.
But you didn't want to.
So
But you wanted it.
Just me hustling. And I just said, I don't want to be in LA. I don't want to be in this area. I'm moving to Orange County. I want to go to college. You've got to let me graduate.
Yeah.
And I literally talked my way into graduation because he was like, you've never been to my class. Why would I let you graduate?
Oh,
I said, well, you don't want to see me back here.
Right. Well, good for you. Good for
You
you.
want me to move on. Believe me, you don't want me back here.
Exactly. That's what I was told too. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to help me move ahead. And so, but the problem so I graduated, I have a really bad grade point average. And I tried out for song leading at the college I was going to go to, the junior college in Mission Viejo. And I made the squad, but she called me into her office and she said, you can't be on the squad. And I was like, why? And she's like, your grades are terrible. You don't have the grade point average. I can't allow you to be on the squad. I mean, you have like a D average. And I said, well, that's because I didn't like my high school.
Right.
You know, and I didn't like it. Nobody there cared what I did. I said, but I will do really well. I said, put me on probation. And she was like, what? And I was like, put me on probation. If I don't have good grades the first semester, if I don't show you that I have a 3.0, kick me off. And sure enough, that first semester, I made the dean's list.
Motivation.
So, it just all I needed was somebody like her to say,
give you a chance.
Acceptable.
Yeah.
And then I lived up to those expectations. When you don't have anybody in your life to guide you or to tell you these are the standards, and that's what I needed. I really needed somebody in because I was used to that with my coaches.
Oh, sure,
my
yeah.
ice skating coaches.
Yeah.
And I was so used to them always setting the bar. This is where we're going. This is what you need to do. And when I didn't have that, I just didn't do it.
So not to.
And then now I have this woman. She comes into my life. And she's like, "This isn't acceptable. This is where you need to be," and that's where I went.
So not to completely change the subject, but I just caught a flash of the new tattoo. And being a tattoo aficionado, I appreciated the tattoo dance.
I finally joined the I'm trying to show you.
It's kind of hard sometimes to get them in the right spot.
Hold on. Let me move my jewelry.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So that's your first one?
It's my first one.
Nice.
Good for you.
I mean, it's like, oh.
There it is.
You can kind of see.
I can, yeah.
So,
But you were very happy about it.
The girl that does these tattoos, blueprints, they're one of a kind. So for example, if somebody says, "I want that tattoo,"
Yeah.
she won't do it. She won't do it again. So she
Oh,
does
wow.
a whole
Okay.
prayer for this tattoo, and then we talked back and forth, texted back and forth. And she said, "What is your intention? What do you want this tattoo to represent?" And then before she started, she let me have time to do an intention. So it's on my left arm because our left is feminine,
Okay.
our right is masculine, and everybody has both. But so I wanted to embrace my feminine, and it's really a symbol of letting go of the past.
Oh, okay.
Surrendering to what is really.
Okay. That's beautiful.
And because I really wanted to get a tattoo, and I've been wanting to get one for so long, I wanted to make sure that every time I looked at it, it represented something to me that reminded me of the path that I'm on.
Absolutely.
And also it has, I don't know if you can see, there's 3 dots
Okay.
in each of the, it's so hard to
Yep.
but there's 3 dots, and those 3 dots represent my kids.
Oh, okay.
Oh, perfect.
Beautiful. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I suppose early in your
now I want another one.
Yeah, that's what they tell you. Yep, it's true. The rumors are true. You get one, and yeah,
I'm like, oh, maybe I want one on the back of my neck. I
yeah.
want one on my finger now.
planning them all out.
Well, they're so cool, It's like I look at it, I'm like, oh wow, I have a tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was there a whole period when you were, again, we're jumping over, but all over the place,
It's okay.
getting into the modeling, that you couldn't get a tattoo because you felt people weren't going to hire you because your body was, you had to cover it up. Not flawed, but you know what I mean? You had to be clean.
That's actually a really good question, because I started modeling in 1984, and I did mostly really conservative catalog and, the girl next door look.
Sure.
And so no tattoos.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It was a different time.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I talk about this a lot. When I go in for swimsuit auditions, they always had you wear a bathing suit because they wanted to see your whole body, and that's what they were looking for. They were looking for tattoos, scars, birthmarks,
Okay.
piercings, because that wasn't, you weren't going to get hired.
Wow.
That's just the way it was in the 80s. Today,
Yeah.
Sure.
anything goes.
Yeah. Everything
today.
goes now.
But back then that was not, you were not getting tattoos. And if you were, you weren't doing the kind of modeling I was doing.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
And the big high fashion models, if they got a tattoo, they usually got it like a little on their wrist or behind their hair, so you couldn't see it.
Or just white ink. I've seen the white ink tattoos as well, so that you can barely see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a different time, and I didn't even think about getting tattoos when I was doing modeling and stuff back in the day.
Sure.
And what age were you when you started modeling?
I was 20 years old.
Okay.
I went to Japan to dance. I was a professional cheerleader for one season of the USFL. I cheered for the LA Express.
Okay.
And one of the girls that I cheered with on that squad, she and I got invited to go dance in Japan.
Oh, wow.
That was a big thing back then. They'd bring over the American girls and the dancers, and we would dance in these clubs, and they loved this. I mean, it was huge. And they paid really well. And so she called me. She's like, hey, do you want to go with me? Because I need... She was just going to go by herself. And then she's like, no, they want me to bring another dancer. And I was like, I'm going. So while I was in Japan, I had a company, an agent, producer, whatever you want to call it. This was my first experience. But he came up and he said, I'd like to use you in this commercial here in Japan. And they told me what they wanted to pay. And I said, okay. Well, I was worried, was this real?
Yeah.
But it was totally real. I showed up. There was a full set, a director, everything. And basically they put me in a poodle skirt and a black wig. And they had me dancing around like a go-go dancer. And that was my first commercial modeling job.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And
Okay.
I had never done anything like that before. And so when I came back to the U.S., I told everybody, I'm going to model. I'm going to do commercials. And they were like, what? And the pushback was unbelievable, because everybody was like, Dad, models are 5'10". And you know how hard it is to break into that business? Everybody wants to be an actress.
Right.
It's so hard. The chances are slim. Everybody in my life told me every reason why I couldn't do it.
Sure.
And that just fueled my fire even more. I was like, okay, well, watch.
Yeah.
And so I had enough money saved up from my work in Japan that I put myself through this commercial workshop in LA. And it was pretty famous in the 80s. It was called Tepical Lagos. And it was like a 6 to 8 week. You went 3 times a week. And on the very last night, they brought in agents in LA. And they gave you a script, and you had a few minutes to prepare this commercial. And then they had a set, and you just stand up and do your commercial as if you were on an audition.
Oh, wow.
Good experience,
And
yeah.
at the end of the night, I had 3 different agents approach me, and they all wanted to sign me. And I thought, okay, I'm on the right track. And I was really young. I mean, I was like 22.
By then, okay.
But I was also really young looking too. I looked 15 at 22. I didn't look my age.
Okay.
And so I did really well. I booked.
I would imagine
a lot
that
of-
sparked those agents to say we have an area for that, for the younger looking Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I did really well because I looked really young. So I would book things that they would want a 15-year-old to do.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Because I had a really youthful look. So I did really well. And then, so I signed with Pacific Artists. That was my first agency.
Okay.
And
Now, are the agents, what you hear, all these sleazy agents and things, or are they pretty nice, even back in the 80s?
I didn't have that experience.
Good.
Because I lucked out. So I had that experience with managers.
Okay.
So the agencies were all pretty legit. I was with Max, I was with Mary Webb Davis, I was with Pacific Artists, I was with Style Agency and Kathy Clark. I mean, I had so many different agents, and the agencies were all legitimate. It was when I got approached by managers.
Oh, okay.
That's where you had to be really careful, because you had these guys that would talk the big talk.
Mm-hmm.
I can make you a star, and and so that I had a couple of experiences with sleazy manager type guys, but I ended up with a really great manager, Marv Dower, and he ended up being my manager. He represented me and Jimmy Woods and John O'Hurley.
Okay.
And there were I'm trying to think of her name. She was a really famous soap opera actress. Oh God, I'm totally spacing. But anyway, what's funny about it is she and I worked on a TV show together called Rags to Riches.
Oh.
In the early '80s, it was a TV show called Rags to Riches, and we worked on that show, and we were beauty contest contestants or whatever, beauty contest. There was something about beauty pageant and contestants part or something. So then cut to, now we have the same manager.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, hey, I worked with you like 5 years ago, So it was really, and Anna Marie Deloria, I don't know. Anyway,
sure.
She was on All My Children for years.
Oh.
She actually married John O'Hurley.
Oh.
I think that's how they ended up having the same manager. Oh. Yeah, so, it's really hard when I don't have anybody in the entertainment business. There's no nepotism for me.
Sure.
Everything I learned on my own, and it was either an easy way or a hard way. I made a lot of mistakes. I had to learn the politics of the business and the fact that it's show business.
Yeah.
And when you're really young and you're booking all these commercials and you're booking print jobs and I wasn't thinking of it as a business. I was a kid.
Right, yeah.
And it really is a business.
Oh, I bet.
And then as you get older, you realize, I was a kid, so it's okay.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to do Playboy?
So that's interesting. I didn't really ever aspire to be in the magazine. I knew of the magazine just as everybody in the world did.
Right.
It was the number one magazine in the world in 1989.
Yeah.
And my agent called me and said that Playboy was coming out with a book called The Lingerie Book, and that they were interested in maybe me doing the cover.
Oh, well, okay.
And so, my first question was, well, is there any nudity? And do you think I should do this? Because, I had a couple of, I was doing when you open the Sunday paper and you have the department stores and girls going.
Yeah.
And, I did that kind of work. I was a catalog girl.
Sure.
And I also was working on a show called The Fashion Channel. I was the model. This is before QVC and HSN. There was a show called The Fashion Channel. And I was the model on that. So I was doing a lot of conservative stuff. So I said, is there any nudity? And she said, I don't think so. It's for the cover. So I went to the famous building on Sunset.
Okay.
I walked in. It's pretty intimidating because it's a big, it's a big presence. It used to be a really big presence on Sunset Boulevard. It's not there anymore. But
it's not. Okay.
The Playboy building. And so I go and I sign in, and they tell me to take off all my clothes and put a robe on, and they'll call me to take me back to do a Polaroid. So I go in, I take everything off except my undergarments, and I go in the studio when they call my name to do the Polaroid, and I have all my undergarments. The photographer's like, we need to see your body. I said, well, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the lingerie book. And he's like, well, everything we do has partial nudity. Like, we need to see your body. And like I said previously, they're looking for birthmark. They're looking for things if they have to work around that kind of a situation, if you have a birthmark, a tattoo. So I didn't take anything off, and I left, and I kind of threw my hands up like they're not going to hire me.
Right.
And I got home that afternoon, and I had a call that they want to test me to be a centerfold. And I literally dropped the phone. This is back in the day when you had to press a button.
Sure.
Because a lot of people listening don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So, yes, we used to have to go home. You had to wait till you got home to get your message.
That's right.
That's the truth.
And so I got home and I had a message, and I literally dropped the phone. I said, I think you're making a mistake. I think you're confusing me with somebody else that was at the audition. I called my agent and I said, I got a message that they want to test me to be a centerfold. And she's like, it's true. They do.
Okay.
Wow, you made a good impression.
We had to have this whole discussion because I didn't know if that was the direction that I wanted to go in my career. And so we had to have this whole discussion. It was a big deal for me.
I bet. Yeah, because you had kind of already thought about it.
Living in LA, I already had agents. A lot of the girls that come to LA to shoot Playboy, they've never had an agent.
Right, yeah.
They've landed the big gig with Playboy.
Yep.
And I really found out, when I started shooting my centerfold, I was in the makeup room with a makeup artist, and she said, Deb, they get over 1,000 submissions a day from girls all over the world that are sending photos. That just their whole life is about being in Playboy.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like I just really kind of took it for granted because it wasn't something I aspired to do. And it really wasn't on my radar. And so I felt really like today I'm just super grateful.
Yeah.
That, oh my God, I'm part of that history. And then cut to Donald Trump is on the cover of
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
It's a collector's item now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's big, yes.
How many of them do you have hiding in your attic?
I mean, how incredible is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's just so amazing how the universe works.
Yeah. So do you have any of them hiding in your attic that maybe you...
Oh, absolutely. I have a whole collection of them. As a matter of fact, when he became president, I went online and I bought like 50 copies.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting because now I go, like I'm on eBay, I'm bidding for one right now. Because I just looked at the last price I saw. It was going for almost $200.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'm in this bid on eBay where
Well, I know at one time I had that issue at one time, and I know I donated my whole collection.
Yeah.
Oh, idiot.
Well, that's what you do when you get married.
Well, by the way, I did the same thing. I moved quite a few times in my marriage, and I had the whole collection because when you become a Playmate, you get Playboy for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Free subscription. So I would get the magazine every month, and I had these cases, really nice cases that I kept them all in. And I think I did the same thing, like I gave them away.
Yeah.
And now I'm kicking myself because who knew that we were going to go online and everything was going to go digital, and it's just such a crazy world, I mean, when I did Playboy, there was no internet.
Right. Yeah.
You couldn't Google anybody.
Right? Yeah, going
surprise.
Yeah, going to get this month's Playboy was
20 years later, I'm all over the internet. I'm like, what the heck? Oh my God.
So it's like a resurgence for you. Once a resurgence for you.
Yeah, it was, because all of a sudden, I had pages.
Yeah.
They're not official, but I mean, there were all these Deborah Driggs pages, and I was like, what is going on?
Why am I all over the internet? Yeah.
So
it took me, I had to hire people, and I have a whole team. Like, I had to hire people to, get my name and make sure I own it. And it was like a whole process, because there's people that, go on and they buy all these.
Right, yeah.
DeborahDriggs.com, and so thank God I was able to get all that right away.
Early enough. Yeah. So before we skip it, what was the final deciding factor to do Playboy? When you were thinking about it, you already kind of decided you weren't going to when you went in for the cover, and then now you're...
Now I'm shooting a centerfold.
Now you're there.
The deciding factor was really curiosity. I literally was like, I could be a centerfold in Playboy magazine. And it was very surreal. to imagine that or to think about that. And then when I started really learning about the whole history and back then there was no Google.
Right.
I had to really research the whole magazine and what it represented, and then I became really intrigued. And then, the more I discussed it with people in my life, the consensus was you have to do it. It's the #1 magazine in the world. It's so sexy.
Yeah, it's a hard opportunity to pass up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really tough to pass up.
Yeah.
And so I thought, and by the way, I was older. I was 25 when I shot my centerfold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I suppose a lot of...
I think it came out when I was 26.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was older for Playboy. The girls are 18, 19 when they do it.
I bet.
So I was like in the PTA. So like I said, I looked really young. So
Sure.
Yeah, and you had the girl next door look.
I actually looked older in my issue than what I looked, because I wasn't recognizable from my centerfold, because people would say, "That's you," because I looked so much younger in person.
So in the shoot, did you have any say in what you wore?
I did.
Poses, settings?
I did.
Okay.
I had a lot of say in that. They asked me how do you see this, and they wanted me to describe, and I was like, well, I just saw this movie.
Okay.
And I really was into the set decor of this movie called Dangerous Liaisons with Michelle Pfeiffer and Glenn Close.
Sure, I remember.
And John Malkovich, yeah. And it was all this French themed, and I just loved the set. And I said, I would love to do something like that, where it's very French themed, and they loved it too.
Okay.
So that's and we did it.
And they're open to that. Yeah, I always wondered that if it was just, okay, the photographer is the one that came up with it all and the girls just went with the flow. But no, that's good to hear.
No, sometimes they already have it in mind what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I had such a visual, and I literally handed it to them, so they liked it. They liked the idea.
It turned out wonderful.
It would have been too typical for me to do the LA surfer girl.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Even though that's kind of what I was.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, let's do something completely different.
So,
Okay.
so from when did the Hot Pink book come into existence?
So so it's really interesting. I was married, and I used to say jokingly all the time, it's all about the pussy.
Yeah.
And I would say that jokingly to my husband, to my friends. I said, it's all about the pussy. Right? everything we talk about,
Yeah.
it's all about the pussy.
Comes back to yes.
All revolves around,
Guys
yes.
are constantly, that's all they're thinking about. And then women, we're obsessed with everything that goes on, and grooming and everything. And so it was a joke, and I wanted to make a book with a cat on the cover. It's all about the pussy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So when you opened the book and then you saw that it was all about the vagina, it would be like this really kind of fun, shocking coffee table book.
Right.
And so, and I had all these like funny ideas for it. And so when I wrote the treatment for it, and we went to all the publishers, all of them, and they all turned me down. They said, there's no way anybody will buy this book. And so then they said, why don't you write a grooming book?
Okay.
Oh.
And I was like, oh God, that's so boring, but okay.
On the surface, it sounds boring.
They are now kind of pushing me in a direction, and I'm young, and so I take that. So we end up writing this grooming book that's so, like, it puts you to slave. The razor.
Yeah.
Soap up the area, shave away. It was just like a ridiculous concept.
But that was your first book?
So it took away from what I visually, I thought, I saw it as a funny book.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so yesterday I'm driving, and I was like, I should post about that book I wrote.
Right.
And so cut to this morning, I wake up and a fan had sent me the article that I posted today.
Oh, okay.
The question.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, oh, I definitely have to post this, because this was on my mind. And I was like, I'm going to I'm going to make this coffee table book now,
Yeah.
regardless, because I think it's so funny to have it have there be quotes, have a picture of Pussy Galore from the James Bond movie.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, absolutely.
That to me was what was interesting. It was like, there's so many times, and I don't like when people use the word like, oh, he's a pussy. I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm always like, no, it's all about the pussy. And I like that there's so much to talk about when you actually open up the subject, or people go, yeah, it is all about the pussy, isn't it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't get away from it.
It really is. Like, people will do anything for it,
That's
you know?
Well,
So-
can't deny it.
so- yeah. So I
Right.
think it's a fun coffee table book. And I guarantee if you have that on your coffee table and somebody comes over and they open it up and they're like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
that. They,
I
yes.
would.
So you can get the hard copy still? Because we looked a while ago, and the download wasn't available, but I was able to download the pages
Yeah,
so I do have
you
it.
can- it's only an ebook.
Okay.
And then, by the way, so we finally do the grooming book.
Okay.
We go back to the publishers, and now they're telling us nobody in the Midwest is going to buy this book. And we're
'Cause they don't
okay,
groom.
So the girl that I wrote it with, that we were going to do this project together, she said, you know what, I'm just going to make it an ebook, and let's just do a test and see if it sells on ebook.
Sure.
This was back in 2002. And so it became an ebook, and guess where all of our sales came from?
The Midwest.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, these publishers, what are you?
They're the experts, right?
They seriously had it all wrong, because all the orders were coming from these small towns. These women loved it. They were like, oh my God. Well, by the way, there's nothing really out there.
There wasn't,
You know,
no?
I mean, now
Right.
you've got Gwyneth Paltrow with Goop. You know, Goop, they talk about vibrators. They talk about
Yeah.
everything that has to do with the vagina, the pussy. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But back when I was doing that, there was nothing that on this subject. And we went to every bookstore. We went to, this is before the internet when we started this project. So we went to every bookstore. We went everywhere looking to see what was available. Funny and not funny,
Right.
both, and there wasn't really a lot available. So, and like we quoted Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City when she said, it's just as important as the shoes you wear, is what you're doing down there. And then even in the movie recently, the last Sex and the City 2 movie, when she references Cynthia Nixon hadn't waxed in like a year, she's like, honey, I wouldn't be caught dead like that. I could be in prison and not have that situation, and it's still a topic.
It's still a thing. It's just more freely
anyway,
talked
so
about.
That's why I thought it's very funny, and it would be a fun book to have all the past quotations and
Yeah.
references to it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I do have one area.
Go ahead.
Reading the book.
Yes.
What is the merry month of May? Well, I know what it is, but what was that an actual activity or something that it said yearly in the
In the Hot Pink book?
Yeah. It said
Oh, I'd have to go back and look now. I haven't looked at that book, and
there was like a link that you could touch.
I think it was a so there's all the what chapter is it in?
That I'm not sure, but I can find out.
So it might have been the name of. So you could go into places and say, I want the landing strip, or I want the. You could have emblems.
It's,
So women would go and they'd have like a Mercedes emblem.
That's fantastic.
Wax down there, and it was just like amazing. All the different people that we interviewed.
Well, he's looking for that. So
Yeah.
So you went from Playboy to Hollywood then, and
Well, I was in Hollywood, so I went from Playboy to now really meeting. I was in proximity of a lot of people, especially up at the mansion.
Sure.
It was a celebrity who's who, not just for the parties, but I mean, I went up every Sunday night for movie night, and
Yeah.
so I was surrounded by producers and writers, and so I was networking now with a whole different group of people, and people were calling me in now for things that normally I probably wouldn't have been called in for, but I was being brought in for everything because I was the it girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I was on the cover the following month of
Yeah.
my centerfold, and so I had this little momentum going, and now everybody's interested,
Sure.
wanting to meet me.
So do you, did you find it?
I did.
Oh, I love it.
You want to know? I skipped by what chapter it was. I didn't look. I was trying to find what.
I love that you read the book. I think it's great.
I did go through it.
I haven't read it. I haven't read it in 20 years. What?
I did. I was going through it, but it was
love it.
since
It's so interesting. I think we do reference like Pussy Galore and stuff like that in there.
But it's the merry month of May since 1998.
Yeah.
May has been National Masturbation Month, during which eager beavers participate in a masturbation-a-thon.
All right.
And that's where it was. The pledge drives benefits women's organization and promotes sexual health. And then it has a link, for the details of the year's event, click here. So I didn't know if it was something you used to hold.
There's the book.
Hey, I think we were, but that's the book. So
Yep.
So
Well, it's fun.
Back in the day, that's what you would get. You'd put it in your computer.
Yeah.
And,
Sure.
and you could read the book. How crazy is that?
Right.
There's people out there going, "What is that?" That's a CD.
Yeah, right. I know.
It's a DVD.
DVD. Yeah, I know. They're going away.
Hold on to that. That's a collector's.
That is a collector's.
So in your
I had an interview. This is funny. I had an interview like, I don't know, 2 months ago. And I used the word Rolodex. and it was so funny because the gentleman that was interviewing me, he's like, a lot of people don't know what that is.
Right,
So
yeah.
They don't.
Let me explain what that is. You know how you have on your phone that thing?
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
actually
right.
called a Rolodex.
right. Yeah, we actually had to write that stuff down.
I don't think you can even get those
I
anymore.
mean, there's just so many things like that, right? That,
More and more every day.
people will never know what we're saying, what it means.
I know. I'm raising a 6-year-old, and I can. There's going to be so much that she's not going to get. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you got a favorite co-star in some of your movies, or somebody who you really enjoyed filming with, or?
This is going to be really cool, but I got to work with Nick Cassavetes
Okay.
Yep.
in a movie called Together.
Okay.
How was
He
he?
was the lead in the movie. I had auditioned for the lead part. I didn't get it, and they asked me if I would take a small part, and I did.
Sure.
So I played the beach babe, typecast, But I why not?
Right.
Looking back, I'm like, I got to work with Nick Cassavetes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So he was super cool. He was a really nice guy.
Okay, legend.
Total legend.
Mm-hmm.
Total legend. I mean, The Notebook. Hello.
Yeah.
And who else did I get to work with that I worked with Mickey Rourke in a commercial for Suntory Whiskey for Japan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that was really cool because that was before Playboy.
Oh, wow.
BP before Playboy. And that was one of my really first big jobs where I went to the audition and I got hired last minute. They were replacing me with the French actress who's actually in the commercial.
Oh, okay.
They needed like a stand-in for her because she had to go back to France. I don't remember the story, and I could be telling it completely wrong. We're talking 1988.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So this is my recollection is they brought me in for the audition, and because I looked the closest to her look, I got hired to fill in the spots that she didn't do for the commercial because she's actually the one in the commercial, and I'm talking about the actress who's in the movie Breathless with Richard Gere.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. I know where she is.
Okay.
I can see it.
Yeah. So I show up to the set, and they took me to a trailer, and they said, the producer's going to come by and introduce himself and tell you a little bit about what you're going to be doing, and then we'll take you over to meet Mr. Rourke. And I said, oh, who's Mr. Rourke? And they said, Mickey Rourke. And I went, Mickey Rourke, like in 9.5 weeks, Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rourke, yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, Mickey Rourke, diner, Mickey Rourke? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. And I had a Chevy Blazer. And I had a car phone. Okay, for those of you that don't know what that is, that was a big black thing
Huge.
that was attached to your car, and you'd have to turn the car on to use it.
Yep.
Dial. And so I had a car phone, and I went to my car and I called my roommates, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the set at Universal, and guess who I'm working with? They're like, who? I'm like, Mickey Rourke. They're like, what? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And this is like, you couldn't take a photo back then with an
Oh, yes. You're right.
What? I didn't have my camera. So I'm like, yeah, oh my God. I'm like, oh, what to do? And they're like, oh my God. And we're like yelling. and so I barely talked to him. I was so intimidated. I was like, I can't believe I'm on the set right now with Mickey Rourke. I think I just watched 9.5 Weeks.
He was big in '88. He was really big.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. So I was super intimidated by my surroundings. And I remember they had, like they always have director chairs with your name on the back.
Sure.
Roar. And I'm like sitting there and I won't even look at him. He's like talking to me and I'm like, like I'm a total kid. He was married to a woman he said, oh, my wife's name is Deborah. He was married to Deborah Fury.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's great. I was so intimidated. He was huge. Cut to in 2014-ish.
Okay.
There's a store in Beverly Hills where men can get shirts made and have them monogrammed, and they're like custom button shirts. Beautiful, beautiful place. Small boutique on Beverly Drive. And I'm in there with my son. I'm buying my son some custom shirts. And Mickey Rourke's in the store. And I went up to him and I said, I cannot believe this. I said, you're not going to remember me.
Uh-huh.
I said, but I did a commercial with you. I think it was 87 or 88 for Suntory Whiskey. He's like, oh my God, that's crazy. And he's like, I kind of vaguely remember. He's done so much. That's not going to be on his radar.
He's had some rough years too, so.
I don't expect you to remember this, but I actually worked with you on this commercial, and he's like, oh my God, that's so crazy.
Right.
And he's totally different now. He looks different now, but.
He does.
And now I don't care. Now I go up to anybody and.
Yeah. Right.
But when I was a kid, I was a baby. I was like 24 or 25. I don't know.
And so when you got home, your face wasn't in the commercial. No. So hey, that's me, and everyone's like, sure it is.
It's me holding an umbrella. It's my body.
Okay.
My face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's that's okay. I got paid really well to do that. It didn't matter to me.
You met Mickey Rourke.
It was experience of really keeping it together. That job was all about keep it together, Deb. Keep it together.
Right.
Hold it together. Try to put a sentence together here.
Not so easy.
And that was before Playboy. So you got that before Playboy.
Oh yeah, that was before Playboy.
Okay.
So then you have to understand, so when I did Playboy and I started getting all these accolades and everybody wanting to meet me, I was in a little different place. I was feeling a little more comfortable in the skin, and I'd worked with Mickey Rourke, and so, you know what I mean? Like I had met Charlie Sheen and Sean Penn, and I was hanging around with a lot of different groups.
Okay.
So
Any secret dating you did with these stars?
Oops.
Did you date any of them?
I did.
Yeah?
I dated a whole bunch of people.
Ooh, so you got some dirt here. Well, not dirt, but...
I don't have any dirt. That wouldn't be fair to do to anybody. I would be bummed if somebody did that to me.
No, but any names that people would know about?
Yeah, I dated Sean Penn. I dated Jack Wagner. I dated,
Okay.
I didn't really go on a date with Charlie Sheen, but I went to a party at his house. I have a very funny story about Charlie Sheen, but again, I can't.
You're right.
It's like you can't dish because it's just not. It's bad karma, man.
Sure.
I could just imagine the minute my book comes out, all these people going, well.
Did you hear what
and Deborah did such a. I feel so sorry for anybody that wants to run for office today.
Oh yeah, it's impossible.
It's such a different world. Now they bring stuff out that you did in high school. My God, if you did that to me.
Right.
The stuff I did in high school was crazy. I would be embarrassed
Yeah.
to have that. I really would. I mean, I was a party girl in high school.
I'm with you. Thank goodness they didn't have cell phones back then.
For office. So all that stuff would come out, and it's like, that's just terrible. It has to be that way.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
we couldn't be kids in high school and be crazy and then want to run for office 20
Right.
years later, and you can't because some guy's going to come out and talk about something I did that was, maybe happened or maybe didn't.
That we all did.
Yeah, we all,
And it's really, we're doing a real disservice because there's so many great people that would probably love to run for office but won't do it because of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they would do a great
They just
job.
don't want to have anything like that brought up. And so, yeah, no. And so, and then of course, I married an Olympic gold medalist. I married somebody who was an actor and who was in the Olympics. And,
Okay.
I'm just not. It's like if my book helps somebody, if my website helps somebody, if something I say on the internet resonates with somebody or somebody goes, well, that's kind of cool, I want to follow that, then that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
That's, and what's really fun is that there's a few playmates, always, once a playmate, always a playmate type thing. And
Yeah.
there's a few playmates that are doing their own podcasts, and I'm going to be a guest on Echo Johnson and Karina Harney are doing a show.
Okay.
And they're interviewing all the butlers that worked at the mansion.
Oh, nice.
The drivers, the playmate. It's going to be like this whole talk about
Life at the,
everything Playboy, basically.
Oh, that's
How
awesome.
That's a great new angle.
How it was when we were all hanging out
Yeah. So
on Sunday night up at the mansion for movie night.
That's legendary.
She just emailed me and said, I want you to be on the show. And it's so, I love that we have this platform now to do that.
Yeah, right. Everybody can create their own content and put out there what they,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah. And as you know, I'm co-hosting now.
I did see that,
I was a guest
yeah.
on someone's show. And then he put out, the next day, I'm looking for a co-host.
Okay.
And I went, hey, what about me? And he's like, really? Okay.
I'm only slightly bummed I couldn't have tried the same thing. I saw you on
I could co-host on 100 shows.
I saw you on a
podcast. This whole thing.
Right? Yeah, you can be everywhere. Yeah. I saw you on a podcast with Frankie McDonald, and I just had to. I love the guy. How was that? I didn't get to watch much of it. I just saw he was on with you.
Oh my God! And by the way, he is so funny.
Yeah, he is. He's hilarious.
At first, I was like, "Oh my God, this guy is too much." It was, and then of course I got some hate mail because everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's such a bitch." But I was like, "No, I just didn't know his background."
Right, yeah, if you don't know what you're walking into.
From Canada, but he and I actually really hit it off, and I said to him, this was funny. During the show, my phone, I forgot to turn it off, so it dinged. It was like, ding! And I looked, and I had a notification from Twitter from him. So I go, oh, you just followed me on Twitter. And then I looked at his profile, and I was completely baffled. I was like, you have 150,000 followers. I have 10.
He's very popular.
I wasn't even joking. I was like, how does that happen? And I was like, oh my God, this guy's super famous.
It's the power of the internet. Yeah, I can remember his videos.
No, because I'm just getting into this whole social media club right now. I'm trying to figure it all out. At some point, I'm going to hand it over and let somebody else do it because it's a full-time job.
Yeah, we're kind of finding that out with this thing too. Trying to, we're
full-time.
It can
job.
be.
Yeah, and we're
I can't keep up. And then I say I'm going to respond, or I've got LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I can't keep up.
I was going to say, how do you keep track of them all?
And then now I'm doing the other show, and then they want me to repost and do stuff.
Sure.
Oh my God, this is
yeah, I know.
It's a lot of work.
We're actually bringing in somebody a little younger than us to kind of show us the ropes on social media because that's how bad we are. So
that's me.
Yeah, mine
is so generic. I'm like, I'm just learning. I don't know how to use any of the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
where they point and these little boxes pop up.
Right? Yeah.
How are they doing that? That's so cool.
No
I'm
clue.
Like, oh God, I gotta hire somebody.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
So I reached out to my
I can
daughters.
barely do a post, I'm like, oh my God.
I know. I'm the same way. It's yeah, it's hard.
So my daughter's friend is coming over, and she's gonna walk through it with us to teach us the ins and outs.
They know all this, right? They're like TikTok geniuses.
Just teach me something.
Right? Are you there yet? Have you moved to TikTok yet?
I have a TikTok. I tried to use it last night. It's so stupid. And I don't know how to delete it. That's the worst. So I got to figure that out. Thank you for reminding me.
I was going to say
how do you use this thing? And then we did one. I was with my cousins, and we did one, and I was like, oh, this is stupid, and I couldn't delete it. So I was like,
well, I was going to say your tattoo dance would have been perfect for TikTok.
Which one?
The tattoo dance, the post tattoo dance. Yeah, that would have been a perfect TikTok from what I'm told. I don't know. I've never really.
The dancing ones are the most popular.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the dancing.
Yeah.
So
and all of that. So he had his whole fame
right.
and all of that. So yeah. So I had a very wild ride. I had a really fun, wild ride. I've met a lot of people in my life. I'm really fortunate that I've been in proximity of some really cool people.
Yeah, and you seem like you're always going in a new direction.
Yeah.
When I look at your...
And now it's a little different. Now when I meet really cool people or I'm hanging out with somebody, it's usually for some type of philanthropic, some charity event, or somebody wants me to be involved.
Sure.
I'm in a different world. I'm not. It's so cool to be in a place now where I'm not looking to get anything.
Maybe that's my next one. I'll start dancing on TikTok.
Tap dancing. Tap dancing.
That's it.
We did a bucket list episode, and he talked.
So what made you guys decide to be in podcasting? What was the reason or the?
Well, we just decided that we thought we were funny when we, when we're out.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, I know, right? When we're out for the night and we get home late in the evening and so we thought, well, let's just throw a microphone in front of us and record some of it and see what happens. So,
we do a lot of road tripping and spend time in the car, and we're laughing, making each other laugh, and and then we threw.
So just two funny guys.
Well,
so how many guests have you had?
We've had guests 3 or 4 times. We have a good friend of ours who's a stand-up comedian. So he sat with us for a couple episodes.
We have another funny friend.
He's the funny one.
He's the funny one. Yes.
He's the funny one.
Absolutely.
We're not.
He's funny for work. He's professional.
For 25 years. Yeah, Mike Merrifield is his name. So we had him on. He was gracious enough to come and talk to us.
Yeah.
We have another one coming up from
another stand-up comedian friend of mine. Yeah.
So
you guys have to have Frankie.
And maybe Frankie.
I would
love that.
I don't know how we would ever get him. Do you have his agent's number?
He's so wackadoodle, man. He talks about crazy stuff. Like he's like really a conspiracist. He's like,
oh, is he really?
It's gonna be really dark and gloomy on that day. And I'm like, how do you know that day specifically? He's got crazy knowledge of the weather system. That's for sure. He really does.
Yeah. He knows all the jargon for sure.
So
all right.
It's fun. Who's a guest that you would like? Oh my God! If we could get that person, who would that be?
Oh Lord. I mean, if you want to shoot for the stars, I'm sure we would both love to have David Matthews from the Dave Matthews Band sit down with us. That would be fantastic.
That would be ideal.
We are big.
I think he's our client.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, there it is.
Networking. This is networking.
I'm pretty sure we do his life insurance.
That's wow. All right then. So you're our hookup. Because it hasn't worked so far. Yeah.
So that's where a lot of our road trips is going out of state to a Dave Matthews show, and then we, Airbnb, and we just have a good time.
So Dave Matthews is so you follow him around.
Yeah, we have.
We're on our 42nd show.
Yeah.
What?
Of him. Yep. Of just him, which in the world is very minimal,
Very minimal.
but that's a big one for us. But yeah, we're and we have a whole group of friends that we meet from all over the states.
Yeah.
You know, they fly in, they
Wow.
drive over, we meet, we hang, camp together, we get hotels together, and just we just have a great weekend. Usually.
So, my cousin Nancy, who I had dinner with last night, she's obsessed with Dave Matthews.
Oh, really?
Like obsessed. She goes to all his concerts. So I'm just like cracking up that we're talking about this right now because how serendipitous. Because I had dinner with her
Yep.
and she's obsessed. Like,
She gets it.
I think she went to 3 concerts in a row. Like
Yep.
the
That's
last time he was
yeah.
or something. I'm like, really? I don't get it. But I like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like, his music, but I wouldn't go to 20 million concerts.
Yeah. It's a weird obsession.
It's an obsession. A
Yeah.
little bit.
It's a strange obsession, but
But-
it's one we share with a lot of people. So anyway.
It's harmless.
All right. Well, the first step is admitting.
Yeah. Right. We're there. We're there.
And we have a problem.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
But
we
I'm not ready. Not
That's
ready.
it.
Not ready to give it up
That's
yet.
it.
So.
All right. Well, I feel like I'm turning the tables now. I'm interviewing you guys. So.
A perfect name, Wild Child, too,
Yeah.
Or yeah. Well, I just wrote it down, so I'm going to start listening.
There you go. Roger the Wild Child.
Roger.
Yeah, it's live every Sunday night on Facebook.
Oh, it's live.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow. No
And
nets.
I like that too. Because
Yeah.
I love being off the cuff and
Yeah.
what goes. It's like, if you bomb, you bomb. If you're great, you're great. So-
Yeah.
No
And
editing.
it's just it's great practice, because when things are live, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
That
have to
sounds.
roll with it. We had some malfunctions. The very first, I've only done 2, but the one before last Sunday, we had a malfunction, and one of the hosts got stuck in the green room, and he couldn't get on the thing, and so it's just me and the other guy, and I didn't really know the other guy yet.
Oh no.
And so he's like, well, I guess it's our show tonight. I'm like, all right, let's roll with it, Here we go. I don't know what's going on, Neither did he. So you just go.
You
with it.
just
go with
run.
it.
Yeah. That's the nice thing with these things is it doesn't really matter. There's no
It doesn't.
rhyme or reason. You just talk and
There's no
Yeah.
template or no one to say.
You can take some really cool risks, take some chances, see what works, what doesn't work,
Right.
see what people were drawn to, what they liked, what they didn't like. You can kind of tell when you post things how many views it gets, and you can compare and you go, you know what, that subject really that pulled in a little bit of that's what people want to hear right now.
so when does the book come out?
9 months to a year.
9 months to
Oh.
a year. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's finished, and now it's on a timeline of the rollout.
Okay.
I'm in the rollout phase, and I didn't I didn't know anything. I'm learning as I go with
Yeah.
this book because I'm self-publishing,
Okay.
Oh,
and
big.
so there's a whole timeline that's involved. I had a little bit experience with Hot Pink, but really, Karen really did all that.
Okay.
And so I wasn't really too involved with it. This time, I'm very involved because I don't want to give up any of the creative. I want it to be exactly
right.
how I want it because I learned my lesson with Hot Pink.
Sure.
And but I didn't have the money back then either. When I look back, if I would have had the money, I would have just done what I wanted to do.
Right.
I really was trying to get a book company to publish it and do it the way I wanted to do it. So now it's different. I'm self-publishing my book.
Big
And
task.
so I can keep control of how I want it to look and the message that I think I want to have come across. And
And this is
sometimes
a
when you give up that privilege, then things can shift. And I kind of like the path I'm on.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll just stay on it. So yeah, it's 9 to 12 months.
Okay.
Okay.
And the book is a memoir, correct?
And the
The book is a memoir, kind of your life story, and
it's kind of a memoir. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a memoir. It's not completely factual because it's really hard for me to
oh yeah,
remember dates and specific things. Like I said, like I could have this whole Mickey Rourke commercial story wrong, but that's my recollection of it.
yeah, absolutely.
The producers could come back to me and go, no, that's not at all. You were the da-da, or I don't know. I'm just giving you an example.
Sure, absolutely.
To try to remember things from the 80s is really difficult.
I hear you.
People ask me, is there anything you could tell people? I say, write everything down.
Yeah.
Write it down, because I really wish I would have kept, even if I would have just kept just a timeline.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard, like, oh, did I do that or did I do that first? Or,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know, and you forget, and as you get older, and it's funny because I remember like people would, like when I was in my 20s and people in their 50s and 60s would say, I'm losing my memory, I can't remember anything. And I'm like, oh God, that's never going to happen to me, because I had this memory, like I remembered everything. I would remember what you were wearing when I met you 10 years later. And so now I'm in my 50s and I'm like, holy shit, that's happening to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm like, wait, what? What was I just thinking about? Oh, yeah. What was I just doing? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You know? And I'm like, holy moly, it's happening.
Yeah, walking into the room and having no
as
idea why you're there.
Quick.
Yeah.
They're not as quick.
Yeah.
Well, we're finding that out too when we're.
I have to go to brain camp. You need to go to brain camp, brain school or something.
Right.
Oh, I wish I could, yeah.
Figure out how to
do exercises for your brain.
Yeah, build the muscles back up. Absolutely.
Yep.
And remember all the stories from the 80s, because that was a great time. That was a fun time.
I love the 80s.
I love the 80s.
Music.
So if you're not into Dave, what is your favorite band?
What's my favorite what?
Band, if you're not into Dave Matthews as much as we are.
I actually really like Dave Matthews' music.
Sure, sure.
But what? I don't have a favorite band. This is interesting. People ask me this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite band. It's funny, my taste in music is all over the board. There's days where I just want to listen to soundtracks,
Okay.
or I just want to listen to piano music, classical, or I want to listen to rap. I like rap sometimes.
Yep.
Sure.
I like hip hop, but as far as a band, if I had
Art.
to choose, like if I was stuck on an island and they said these are the 3 CDs. Okay, for those of you that don't know, it's this. Remember?
Right, remember?
Right. Back to that.
So if I had 3, I think I would probably take Tom Petty,
Okay.
the Rolling Stones. Trying to get a girl in there. What girl would I take?
Janice.
Who?
Janis Joplin.
No.
Pat Benatar.
Not this. I don't know if I can listen to her
Yeah.
that much. What girl band?
The Go-Go's? They just got in.
I like the Pretenders, and I like. I guess Fleetwood Mac would have to be on my list.
Yeah. Fleetwood Mac is fantastic. Yeah.
3 good ones right there.
Yeah, the Pretenders. I think that was one of my first concerts. My very first concert was Donna Summer at the Greek Theater when I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
I saw Donna Summer, and then I saw Rick Springfield, who I love. Gotta have Jesse's girl. You know,
I've seen him live, actually.
And then he what?
I've seen him live.
Yeah. So
yeah.
He did a great show. This was like in
It's fun.
1982, I think I saw him. And then I saw the Pretenders. Yeah. She's amazing.
She is. I really like her. Yeah, Chrissy Hine.
Yeah.
I really like her.
Yeah, she's amazing. Love her. So I'm very odd. I love Journey. You know, I mean, I have an odd taste
Different
in
moods,
music.
different types of music.
Yeah.
That's the way I always look at it.
Yeah. In high school, I was so big on like Supertramp and Styx,
Sure.
Rush. Rush was great.
Rush was great. Still are. I always thought the fun part of the 80s was every week there was I had a new favorite band, because every week there was a new one-hit wonder.
It was incredible, right?
Yep.
What's really fun is, in my business now, we insure a lot of musicians, and so we got Boy George as a client. And I hung out with Boy, and I hung out with George, and I told him, I said, you don't understand. Like, in 1982, you were like, oh my God,
Yeah.
do you really want to hurt me? Was like, that was the jam.
Yeah,
You're it.
absolutely.
He just laughs. He's like, yeah.
He knows what.
He knows. But yeah, he's making a big comeback. He's trying to make a big comeback. I think they're making a movie of his life.
Oh, really?
Oh, that actually would be very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, he's had an interesting life.
Oh, I bet.
So I've been fortunate, even in the business I'm in now, to meet a lot of performers because we do their insurance.
So what haven't you done that you want to do? What's your next step? What's your next goal?
I have a few things that I really want to do travel-wise. I really want to. I need to go to Antarctica in Australia. so that I can have said I've done all 7
Done all of them?
continents.
Okay.
I've never been to Australia, and I have not done Antarctica.
Okay.
So those 2 are on my bucket list. And then I'm really into hiking. I like hiking adventures.
Okay.
So I really want to do Kilimanjaro. I love hiking adventures.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did Peru. I did, Machu Picchu. I did that back in 14 or 15.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so yeah, so I like having a goal like that.
Keeps you moving.
Yeah. I like adventure. I love traveling. I actually really my big bucket list dream right now is to get an RV and do the entire United States and document the whole thing.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And then make a documentary so anybody that wants to travel, I will say, don't go here, go here.
Yeah.
Don't eat here, eat here. And just do a whole documentary on traveling in an RV.
What fun.
Throughout the whole, and see everything in the United States that I want to see.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, there's a lot to see.
I really want to go to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah.
I want to see the leaves change on the East Coast. I want to, you know what I mean? Like, I want to plan it out where I get to see all those things that are, you should see. And I live here. It's funny, I've traveled so much out of the country, but I really haven't done a lot in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So during last year, I went to Wyoming and did Yellowstone and loved, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've never
it's
done
beautiful.
this. And then went to the Grand Canyon. I had never been to the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
I've never done the big parks in Utah. I lived in Park City, and I've never done Zion or Moab or any of those places.
Yeah.
So that's a big bucket list thing, is to just get in an RV and go and just do hiking adventures along the way and then document it so that other people can do the same trip.
And all the fun you'd have along the way. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can do this from anywhere.
Yeah, you can now. That's the nice thing
So
about
I
this
think
whole
you
thing.
can set this up in an RV.
Right. Oh,
All
yeah.
you need is a little space.
That's all you need.
And you're set. You need a lighting, a microphone, and a computer.
Absolutely. It's, yeah.
Done. Boom. And internet. So you just got to make sure when you park, you have your internet, or you buy one of those things where you can.
Right,
access
you can-
internet.
You could make it happen.
Absolutely.
We plan on
taking her on the road.
when we go out to Washington, we plan on documenting that and doing shows from the road. And
Where are you going in Washington?
The Gorge Amphitheater in George, Washington. It's a little city.
Is that near Spokane or Seattle?
It's closer to Seattle. It's near Yakima, I think, is the closest
It is,
fairly
Yakima.
big city.
Okay, because my family is from Moses Lake, Washington.
Yeah, it's right. It's near there. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That sounds familiar, Moses Lake. So
it does. Yeah.
yeah. So that's
That's where all my dad's family was from Moses Lake, Washington.
Oh wow. Okay.
Such a small world.
Yeah. Right.
It really is. Yeah.
But I haven't been to Moses Lake, Washington since I was in high school.
Might have changed a little bit.
Yeah. Might have,
I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys can all come on my journey on DeborahDriggs.com.
We will.
Let's
Go to my website and follow me on Instagram. And it's fun. I'm having it's kind of fun, because Instagram is a really fun platform to show things from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it is, and your social media is fun to watch for sure. So
oh, cool! Thank you.
It really is. Yes.
Absolutely. I would suggest people follow. It's I imagine you'll keep documenting the story as as the book
absolutely.
is.
And I'll be putting out snippets from the book and snippets from the website and
Sure, and more tattoo dancing.
Always dancing, yes, definitely.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are,
guys. I'm glad this worked out.
Yeah, we are fledgling. So for us to get somebody, with somebody of your stature is, we're still in awe. So.
Hey, I'm in awe. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I'm filled with gratitude. Anybody that lets me have an hour of their time, thank you so much.
It was our pleasure. I would appreciate
Absolutely.
everything you did. And I just started following you on Twitter right now.
Oh, there we go.
I just requested you.
I'm not.
I do on our Instagram already, but Twitter right now.
I would, but I'm not a Twitter guy. I gotta stay off that one.
So my phone is off, so.
Oh, you didn't get a ding. I was like, maybe I'll get a ding.
Ding me.
Oh,
Let's
no.
see. There we go.
I can't.
Make sure you followed the right Deborah Driggs.
Sure looks like your picture. It's sure there's spelling.
Oh, boy. Anyway. All right.
Well, it'll get there. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Everybody else, follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, go. Yeah, promote.
Followers, so come and join the fun.
There's a lot going on. All right.
And check you out Sunday nights on Facebook.
Well, no, now I have 11. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. You have 11. Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, check out the Wild Child show on Sunday nights.
Roger the Wild Child Sunday nights on Facebook.
That's it.
All right, perfect.
Live.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much.
good night.
Yeah,
you
you
have
too.
too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Biggest. Well, I hate to say that. It doesn't matter.
What?
Oh, that was going to be the biggest star yet, but I don't know. Mike's pretty big. Pretty big. He's kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I wouldn't want to say
She's definitely hotter than Mike Merrifield, though.
she's hotter than Mike. Sorry, Mike. She was a little bit hotter than you.
Yes. I mean, I would rather look at her on the Zoom screen than Mike, but
Well,
that's
depends
just,
on the mood. Depends on my mood.
it's just my personal preference.
Depends on the mood.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
you never know.
I'm just saying. Anyway,
We can give it a try. Either way, we need to thank Deborah Driggs.
Deborah Driggs, we got lucky. Somehow we
Playmate, 1990.
Miss March 1990, cover April 1990. The
Fantastic.
cover with Donnie on the cover.
Yeah.
Just look for Donnie, your former president.
And she's in that one. She's not on with him, but she's in that one.
She is wait, how does it go?
She's a centerfold of that one.
Oh yeah, no, he's the cover of Miss March when she's the centerfold.
Correct.
She is on the cover of April.
Yes.
So that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. So she was
Yeah.
gracious enough to give us almost an hour and a half of, we'll say,
Yeah.
hour and 15 minutes of our Friday night,
Yeah, we spent
this-
a lot of time with her.
just discussing her life.
And I feel bad because we didn't really get to some of her newer stuff. The aging is a full-time, or aging gracefully is a full-time job.
That's true.
She's got a website that just launched, which we talked about a little bit. She's got the book coming out, and she's working.
Do you know what the name of the book is?
I don't think there's a title yet. I think she told us that. There's not a title yet.
Okay.
It's kind of a memoir, but it's still in production. It's, what'd she say, nearly about a year away, 9 months to a year away.
9 months to a year away for the book.
Yeah.
Website's going now, but not 100%, 90%. DeborahDriggs.com.
DeborahDriggs.com.
Which she has her blog.
Yes. What did she call it?
You just heard it.
I know. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I apologize. Deborah's
Den?
Deborah's Den.
Yeah, I knew it was something Den.
Yep.
So, yeah, so she's got that going. The blog will be coming onto the website. I know I've been on the website. I know the website. There's links to some of her other, not that I want you to go watch her on other podcasts, but there are links to her.
It's a good interview.
She is a good interview. And
She's got a lot to say.
Yeah, and she'll be live tomorrow night on the Roger the Wild Child show.
Roger the Wild Child, Facebook Live.
Yeah, so you can find her there.
Of course, Deborah Driggs, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of them.
Yeah, I think she's just, all of her social media is just her name.
Go follow.
Nothing fancy. Yeah, go follow her. She's up and she's
Up and coming.
Well, I don't want to say up and coming
With the social media stuff.
her social media stuff is up and coming, and obviously with the book on the horizon, she's promoting and trying to get the word out. And the book is, like she said, memoir and an inspirational, motivational kind of thing. She went from Playmate to, I think, kind of petered a little bit. Now she's back on her game, and
Movies under her credit.
Yeah. So, top of her game in the insurance industry, and
Everything was. She had to go get. She wanted it. She had to go get it.
Yeah, she's busted her ass for everything she's got. She's certainly motivational.
And so for her to give two schmucks like us in Wisconsin,
One schmuck and me.
well, thanks for being.
One schmuck and me. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. One schmuck
One schmuck.
and me. Maybe we should have just named this thing that. One schmuck and me. But we didn't. We named it Cocktails with Dimples in the Beard.
So go follow us.
Hey, we have a brand new YouTube channel.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Moving up.
Yeah. So look for some videos. I know we had a highlight moment earlier tonight that I will crop and get out there onto the old YouTube channel. Because apparently I don't know what pink lemonade concentrate means. But that's okay. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. Every day is a new lesson. So,
It is.
not to run this thing any longer because
Nope.
The interview was plenty long enough. You don't need to listen to one schmuck and me talk about our own nonsense.
Somebody's high on themselves tonight.
I am myself every night. Got to love yourself before anybody else will love you.
I do love myself.
So there you go.
I prove it to myself all the time.
Yeah. Get your hands on top of the table, please.
My studio. Do what I want in the studio.
All right. Anyway, so yes, once again, thank you, Miss Deborah Driggs.
Thank you so much for your time.
We look forward to. Hopefully, I did mention the possibility. Not during the interview, but I've talked to her a little bit about the possibility of coming back when the book is closer. And she
Released? She'll be out.
She said sure. So we will try and work that out and hopefully get her back. Around the
Maybe we'll fly out to California and
around the release of the
interview
book.
in person.
Okay.
With our budget.
Okay. I think
We got a year.
I think we're gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hire an accountant. No, I think I overspend the budget more than you do. So that reminds me, I did a little more advertising. And we're out of here.
On that note,
Look for us. Look for us on all of them. Anchor, Spotify, Google, all the ones.
all of them.
If
Podcast, the actual podcast.
Yeah, we're not just
the Facebook Live shit that we do.
Yeah, we're not just Facebook Live people. We actually put out a podcast on the YouTube channel. If you go check it out and you watch some videos, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button.
And like,
Yeah, that way you will get notifications when we put new videos out there, and it will.
which you will.
It will help us out. So,
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Cheers. Here's
Cheers
to
once again for a successful interview.
Successful interview. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.